Hey everybody, this is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally, coming back to you this August to talk to you about panic. So I thought I'd put some pretty flowers in the background if we're going to talk about, panic and clients overreacting or panicking over something. In the service-based industry, you probably find that a lot. We work with bookkeeping and accounting, so there's a lot of uncertainty. We work with a lot of creatives that may not understand all the stuff that happens. And especially with new clients, there's a lot of stuff that can go on that could freak a client out. And for good reason. We can't judge people for whatever it is they're reacting to. As a small business owner, you just have so much stuff going on. So, and especially if you're in the wedding industry, I can't even imagine the type of stress you're dealing with and the amount of personalities, like the entire lifetimes of traditions, wants, hopes, and dreams is going into one single day, and you're a part of that, and you kind of have to pull that all together and make sure it's the best outcome and everybody has the best time they possibly can. So that is an area that I commend you for, because I don't know if I could roll in all those personalities. I know every one of my wedding photographers kind of have their own way around doing that and kind of managing it. But speaking for my own business with doing bookkeeping, especially for creatives, and especially new clients, they hear things or they're uncertain about something or they don't know. And so something pops up and they're like, oh my God, what if, right? And so I get these calls, I get these texts. Sometimes they're on the weekend, I've been having a little wine, and you could just feel, even in an email or a text, you can just feel that emotion, that panic. And it sounds like a bad word, but it's just, people don't really understand what it is. I spoke with so-and-so and they're doing X, Y, and Z and I am not. Am I gonna be in trouble if I don't? And I don't understand it, and And so the first thing I like to tell people is, when I encounter that and they're starting to get that overwhelm, that panic, that anxiety, is to just simply breathe. Right? Breathe. Step one is breathe. Do not forget to breathe. Breathing is important. And then we can kind of step back and say, okay, what does this really look like? What is it that you're asking? That's the number one thing is making sure you communicate, you're listening effectively. So making sure that you understand not only what the person is trying to explain to you, but what emotions and what experiences is kind of coming from that. That sounds like a lot, but in many cases, when somebody is bringing something to me and I'm just seeing them drip with anxiety and panic, I just try to figure out, slow it down, slow me down, so that I can help slow them down. And then I can say, okay, here's what I'm hearing. Is that correct? Okay. Then you just kind of take it as a step by step. Well, in your situation, this could look like whatever. In many cases, for my situation with the clients we work with, it's has a lot to do with taxes, not surprising, right? That brings a lot of panic and anxiety. And just because somebody's doing something a specific way doesn't mean you have to, because your tax situation could be dramatically different. And so in many cases when I'm dealing with that, I have to pull in other experts, and I may not be able to do it in the moment. What I have to do is I have to explain to my customers, my clients, to what it is they're experiencing, why the reaction needs to kind of just take a step back from that emotion, that reaction, take a look at some options, and then discuss going from there what you need to do. So if you're in a wedding industry and you're dealing with multiple personalities, or you're dealing with budget constraints and lifetime wishes, maybe it comes down to deal breakers, and maybe it comes down to compromise. And those sound like really bad terms, but at the end of the day, there's only so much money to go around for many families, and there's only so much resources and time available in the day. So sometimes you just kind of have to look at things and say, okay, if this doesn't end up exactly the way I want it, is that going to make me wake up for the rest of my life regretting my day, right? Or in my situation, if X isn't done or is done, is that going to, bring an IRS audit? Am I going to, go into tax jail? Whatever that looks like, penalized, am I going to get interest, all that good stuff. And just take a look at all the options. Take a step back, pull the emotions back as much as possible, and just rationally review where you are, what you need to do, and if you need to pull in experts to kind of weigh the good, the bad, and the ugly so that you can make a good decision. The best decisions are made with the most information available at the time. Making decisions in a panic, making decisions with an emotion, those tend to not always work out for you. But also, in my industry, delaying decisions because you just simply don't want to deal with them. You're like, oh no, I don't know. Or you think you did something wrong, or you're embarrassed. Like, that's kind of some of the worst things that you can do, is procrastinate on a decision because you don't understand it. You think the outcome is insurmountable, or it's just so bad that you don't want to deal with it. And at the end of the day, when it comes to money and finances, which is where my world kind of collides, dealing with things sooner, even though you do want to wait, you want to get all the information, you want to eliminate as much emotion as possible so you can make good rational decisions. If you wait 6 months from now, some of your options may be off the table. So dealing with those in a reasonably healthy manner. So these service providers like you and me, we're the ones who can get our clients from point A to point B without drowning. And we can explain to them what their options are. We can calm them down and hopefully allow them to have the best experience they can given the situation. So I hope you learned something. We deal with a lot of client panic. And like I said, it tends to come from new clients. They just don't understand, or they heard something, and all of that stuff happens. So it's just a matter of step one, taking a deep breath. Step two, weighing your options. So be there for your clients. I'd love to hear about your stories and how you've worked people through some panic before, and some solutions you have. Or if you have any questions, we'd love to hear it. Drop a question below and we'll happily work with you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is Amanda Davis, owner and founder of Business Solutions by Design, your accounting ally, signing out.